I can tell you right now, I'm pumped up, jacked up. I was a Marine this morning. What happened was, and you know the reason why I make that reference is because Marines adapt. They overcome. They're agile. They're hostile. They're mobile. I'm coming up Madison Pike. I'm coming up Highland Avenue. The cars are lined up on their ramps. Some jackwagon, no doubt, ran out of gas or wrecked on the bridge. So I go down Dixie Highway. I drive and violate every traffic law there is in the book, but I get here just in time. I do it for the team. If I ever get pulled over the ticket on the way to the radio station, I'm going to say, listen, officer, I have a radio show to do. As long as I'm not bumping anybody or hurting anybody, I've got to get there. That's the way I look at it.
That's very true. It's like a doctor, you know. It's an emergency. You got to be there.
Emergency. Of course, everybody else say, well, I got to get to work, too. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, of course, yesterday was a Romney romp. We will get to that. And then, of course, we got Grassley. Senator Grassley from Iowa is sticking a microscope up the Secret Service's colon to try to find out whether there is any truth to the allegations. And get this, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, those Colombian prostitutes might have been Russian spies.
Oh, no.
You know what it is, don't you? The men. The men can't control. You throw a prostitute at them, and they fall apart. Got a lot of life stuff for you, too.
I want to stop you for a second. Maybe you just hit on something. Remember yesterday on America's Morning News, they were saying maybe we need to have more females in the Secret Service?
That is correct. That is correct.
Maybe there's something to that. You know, women can control their urges.
I want to let you know that I get the perspective from the ladies from lots of sources. My wife, of course, the ladies at the office. I sat down and had lunch with them last week. At the office, and I can tell you right now, folks, women don't care about sex. There's some exceptions, but generally they can do without it. They don't really need it. I have to hear these women say, I shouldn't be saying this, but I will. The women in my office say that if they get divorced from their current spouses, they're not going to get remarried because they don't need a man.
Oh. And that hurts. That really
They
hurts.
don't need us, TC.
All those years when you're with them, they make you think that they need you.
I mean, it's just that. And let me tell you, this story is an example of why maybe we shouldn't mess around with them.
Well, I don't know.
Neon Deion Sanders was cited for misdemeanor simple assault against his estranged wife, who's named Pilar. Never marry a chick named Pilar. It's trouble going in.
You know that.
Sanders tweeted that she attacked him, I believe him, and posted a photo. Get this. Are you ready for this? She posted a photo of her children helping her fill out the police reports. Come on, kids. Let's all get involved in this.
Oh, man.
Bulldog note, I stand with Deion. I don't believe Pilar. But see, there's women like that ruin your lives.
Yeah.
They ruin your life, man. I tell you right now.
Why would you drag the kids in? I mean, it's tough enough already.
As we're talking about that, we might as well do pop culture. Gladys Knight was voted off.
Ooh.
Do we care? Hell no.
Wait a minute. We like Gladys Knight.
We like her, but do we care that she was voted off?
Woo-hoo.
Bulldog Nation member women are texting me saying, that's not true, Bulldog, about what you were talking about. That's not true. We need a man.
Call us then, 513.
TC single, ladies. TC single.
1160.
Ted Nugent pled guilty to killing a black bear illegally in Alaska. He apologized for unwittingly violating the law. He likes
being in Washington, doesn't he?
He must pay a $10,000 fine, not fish or hunt in Alaska for a year, and serve 2 years of probation.
And he can't practice law in Kentucky.
No. Ted, I want Ted Nugent right now. Ted, you better not let Kentucky Bar Council find out that you shot a black bear. You will be disbarred.
Disbarred.
He's a witty and wise producer.
Who said that?
Hey, get this. A website, that Ashley Madison website, which is disgusting. What kind of a website do you log on to promote extramarital affairs? Here, we'll help you find somebody to cheat. And by the way, what desperate dude or female needs a website to cheat?
There's probably a link on secretservice.gov.
Exactly. The company is described on its homepage as the most recognized name in infidelity. But come on!
For 20 years, we've been number one.
That is immoral. But listen to this. They have made $1 million offer for any woman. See what they did to us, guys? See what they did? They want $1 million. They're willing to pay $1 million for someone who can come forward and produce proof Tim Tebow's not a virgin. Why do they care? You know what I'm saying? And I got another example, okay? Unless you've saved the blue dress, that's a tough thing to prove.
Right.
All right, and then we have former Saturday Night Live star John Lovitz going off. Now, this is a guy who supported Barack Obama. He's a Democrat. In an interview with the Clerks director, Kevin Smith, which he gave him kind of a hard time, too, he says, this whole thing with Obama, and we got to get a Lovitz, this whole thing with Obama, saying, you do a Lovitz, TC?
Yeah, Don Lovitz. I can do that when I'm not with my wife, Morgan Fairchild. Yeah, that's it.
The whole thing with Obama saying the rich don't pay their taxes is, And I voted for the guy, and I'm a Democrat. First they say you can't do anything you want, go for it. Then when you make it, everyone's like, you. Lovitz said. You got to love that, baby.
Don't hold back. Yeah, that's it. That's the taxes.
Don't hold back.
That's the taxes.
You got to like that guy. And we might as well jump right in from pop culture to some humor. And by the way, I had to change the joke 3 times today to maintain the Bulldog Nation radio standards for humor. Because you know what? Anybody, and by the way, I've listened to people tell jokes on the radio, and they're like just blah, blah, blah. They don't put any passion behind it. They don't get in character. We don't do it. We do humor right on our show. An 80-year-old man went in for a physical. See what I mean? I get into character. All his tests came back with normal results. The doctor said, George, everything looks great. How are you doing mentally and emotionally? Are you at peace with God? That's a hell of a thing for a doctor to say. George replied, God and I are tight. He knows I have poor eyesight, so he fixed it. So when I go to the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, poof, the light goes on. When I'm done, poof, the light goes off. Well, that's incredible, the doctor said. A little later today, the doctor calls George's wife. Ethel, George is doing fine, but I had to call you because I'm in awe of his relationship with God. Is it true that he gets up during the night and poof, the light goes on in the bathroom, and when he's done, poof, the light goes off? Oh, sweet Jesus, exclaimed Ethel. He's peeing in the refrigerator again. I can tell when TC has a real laugh and when he has a fake laugh. That was a real laugh.
That was a real laugh.
Quote of the day. Leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it. Dwight D. Eisenhower.
I like that. I like that. That's good.
He got Americans to build the interstate highway system. So he must know what he's discussing and talking about.
Let's read that one more time. Let that one sink in for a second.
Leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something you want done because he wants to do it.
That is great. That is superb.
Almost Shakespeare.
That is superbity.
Yep, superbity. Famous birthdays today for April 25th. My little brother Jeremy.
That's right.
Renee Zellweger, 43. You had a one-day marriage to Kenny Chesney. Ladies, what does that tell you about Kenny Chesney? Huh? Kenny Chesney? Yeah. Brad Amster just summed it up there with his thumb and his index finger. Al Pacino, 72.
Really?
My favorite actor of all time. Clint Eastwood is second. But Al Pacino is number one. Every Pacino movie, you talk about The City, you talk about The Scent of a Woman, you talk about Justice for All. Al Pacino gives a great speech somewhere in the middle of that movie.
You're right. He does. And then
they told me not to come. They told me not to come. How could I not come? This little boy right here, this little boy.
Scarface.
Say hello to my little friend.
She's a tiger.
I like Justice for All when he goes bonkers. We're going to try to find that, the opening argument that he makes in the trial. Prosecutor wants to be Prosecutor of the Month. Centerfold.
You know, better than a feel-good song today, we should just do Al Pacino line. People be quoting Al Pacino at work all day.
Quote Al Pacino today. And by the way, the feel-good song today is going to rock you into oblivion on Real Talk 1160.
And listen up, coming up in just over 10 minutes, Bill O'Reilly's Talking Points at 7:28 this morning on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
Eric Dieter's the Bulldog. On Real Talk 1160, I'm going to give you a little hint of our feel-good song. Part of the words is, we're not going to play it yet. We're gonna bait you all the way through till like 8 o'clock. But the words, some of the words are this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got that? Remember that Name That Tune in one word?
I used to love that show. It was great.
How many rock songs have Oh Yeah in it?
Oh, baby.
This day in history, folks. St. Lawrence Seaway opened, linking the Atlantic and the Great Lakes. I know you may not think that was a big deal, but it was. Supreme Court ruled in 1978 pension plans can't require women to pay more. Ladies, we are trying to recruit more female listeners because we already got the men market locked up here. We're trying to recruit more lady listeners. I want you to know that I support that Supreme Court decision. Can you imagine them saying women got to pay more for a pension? That is incredibly sexist. And speaking of sexist, we got a Bulldog Nation member. I'm calling him out because this guy, Jim from Verona, says, if a woman made it to the Secret Service, physically, she's probably very much like a man. And also said, most wives just need their husband's paychecks, not their husbands. How sexist is that, Jim? I want to say right now that I'm representing some women who make more money than their men.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's funny to sit down with a woman that's going to get divorced, and she's making more money than her man, and she's like, man, am I going to have to pay alimony? Yeah. I just want to start laughing. This is unbelievable. A woman worried about paying alimony.
Well, she should. I think. That's fair. That's equal.
Let me see here. Sad news. Sergeant Dean R. Schaefer, we've lost 6, folks. Sergeant Dean R. Schaefer, 23, at Pekin, Illinois. Sergeant Chris Workman, 33, Boise, Idaho. Chief Warrant Officer Don C. Farai, 25, of Wapahu, Hawaii. Chief Warrant Officer Nicholas Johnson, 27, San Diego, California. They all lost their lives when their Black Hawk crashed in Afghanistan. And we also lost Private First Class Michael Metcalf and First Lieutenant Jonathan P. Walsh, 28. May God bless them. May God bless the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, the Guard. May God bless all of those who've lost their lives in Afghanistan, 1,946. In Iraq, 4,486. And just maybe, ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, our president might have been honoring them rather than showing up on the Jimmy Fallon show last night. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, history. Great story, folks, about history. Those of you that love soccer, you know that game that everybody can play, no matter how big or how bad or how slow or how fat you are. In 1314, English king, I like getting the soccer fans all red. Oh, that's my truth. In 1314, English King Edward II issued a royal edict banning the game of soccer. The sport bore little resemblance to the game played today. It often pitted town against town, hundreds of players on each side brawling across fields or down roads. Sounds like a game to me. It was very popular, but nevertheless, the king threatened the players with harsh prison terms. Other British kings followed suit. Edward III, Richard II, Henry IV issued bans. In 1457, King James II of Scotland banned soccer and golf. In 1491, Scottish King James IV issued this decree. It is the statute ordained that in no place of the realm there will be used football, golf, or other unprofitable sports. Guess what, King James IV? They're profitable now. So what is it about soccer and golf and other sports that was so upsetting? The kings considered them to be distracting men from archery practice, which was essential to the defense of their countries. Ultimately, the laws were ignored as the men's passion for sports was strong. Not all royalty was down on sports. Mary, Queen of Scots, was an avid golfer. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, what this basically means is that we have the power to ignore stupid laws, and we shall. Shakespeare for the day, speaking of the English, make mad the guilty and appall the free. I don't know what the hell that means, but it's Shakespeare, so you should take note.
Sounds fancy.
It's a fancy saying right there.
By the way, can we send a shout out to the folks in Union? You were talking about the troops we lost. They have a group, an adopt a troop organization, and they're constantly sending them care packages.
I like that group. That's a good group.
Yeah, I had some information on it a while back, but they do great. I mean, they send year round. They're always sending stuff to these guys.
We salute you. We'll give a shout out to that group.
In Union.
And Union. The Reds play 7-10 the Giants last night. They beat the Giants 9-2. But what really counts, folks, is this. John Calipari and the UK Wildcats were honored before the game, and there was even a few boos. How do you boo Calipari? Anyway, he threw out the first pitch, and unlike some people from Hamilton County and the city of Cincinnati, Simon, Lisa, Mayor Mallory, he threw a strike.
Whoa.
Calipari, baby. You know what he's doing? He's tweeting his recruits and saying, watch this, man, I'm throwing a strike.
Yeah. You knew he was, you know that guy's an athlete. You know he probably played ball when he was a kid.
He was an Italian baller.
But secretly I was hoping he would have thrown a wild pitch just so we could tease him like we did Mallory. But, you know.
Yeah, you know, it is true. Strikes aren't no fun, are they?
It's like you can't make fun of him. Yeah, he does a good
and
job.
TC and I are still shamelessly lobbying. Phil Castellini, I know you're listening. Can't the Bulldog throw out the opening pitch one night of these 80 home games this year?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Can I be in the top 80 of ball games? I'll tell you what, I'll even throw out the first pitch in the bullpen. Like the first time the bullpen guy gets up, I will throw the first pitch of the bullpen. Nice. I don't think they've ever done that.
That'd be unique. You'd be the first.
I'll be the first. And we turn your attention to the outfield where the Bulldog is going to throw out the first pitch in the bullpen.
Can you see him way up there?
Behind the door. Crack myself up. Jerome Simpson is off to the Minnesota Vikings, and you know what? Only thing I'm worried about Jerome Simpson is I really like the flip and landing on the feet. Other than that, see ya, Jerome.
Make sure you fill out a change of address card at the
you don't
office.
Want the pot not to fly somewhere else. Ron Artest, also known as World Peace, and a very peaceful guy, suspended 7 games and $348,000 of his salary. He said, "Oh man, I didn't realize I got too carried away." Yeah, right.
You know, why would you name yourself World? That's the most. He should name himself Frazier Goes Down.
That's right. Frazier Goes Down.
That's what he should be called.
I'm going to change my name to Bulldog Law Dog.
Ooh, I like that.
The Colts are set to pick luck number 1 tomorrow night's draft. The Kansas City Royals have only lost 12 games in a row. And that's your sports. Only the sports that you really need. Anything else in sports you don't really need. Let me see real quick. Chief Craig was formed a police clergy council to battle crime and its causes. Cincinnati unemployment rate is at 7.8, if you believe that. P&G pulled out of the American Legislative Exchange Council because of this Trayvon Martin thing. What's going on? Kasich was in town to talk job training. And we got a spicy sex case story and Nate Webster's trial update when we return on Real Talk 1160.
Hey, they're going for revenge this afternoon. UC Bearcat Baseball. They're going to take on the Xavier Musketeers. Steve Jarnicki is going to call the game. You can catch it right here at 3:30 pregame. First pitch at 4 o'clock, right here on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
This is Eric Dieters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. I think we have a doctor coming in, the plastic man, and when he comes in, I've got a question for him. And if you're listening, doctor, I'm not going to give you any hints. I'm going to ambush you with the question.
Maybe we want to talk about plastic surgery today.
Is it real or is it plastic is the question. Last night, there were primary elections in the GOP in New York, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Newt Gingrich was still in the race. Paul was still in the race. Santorum was on the ballot in Pennsylvania because he knew he was going to get crushed anyway. Romney got 62% in New York, 56% in Delaware, 58% in Pennsylvania, 67% in Connecticut, and 63% in Rhode Island. Ron Paul, of course, is staying into the finish because he doesn't give a darn. And, of course, Newt maybe will finally get out. Apparently, Santorum and Romney are going to meet sometime early May. And Michelle Bachmann was on Greta Van Susteren last night, and she kept asking, I mean, don't you just hate politicians? I hate them. Greta Van Susteren said, why don't you endorse Mitt Romney? Well, Mitt Romney, and I'm working on getting the party all unified, blah, blah, blah. And she just doesn't answer the question, like, why don't you endorse Mitt Romney? I went from thinking she was a ditz to kind of liking her to back to she's a freaking political hack. Fresh back from Afghanistan for photo ops. Just answer the question. Why don't you, no, they will not answer a straight question.
You're right.
I'm working on unifying the party and working to defeat Barack Obama. Greta didn't let up. Why don't you just? And then Brett Baer had Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Sergeant Schultz from the Democratic National Committee on, and he nailed her. He kept saying, why hasn't the president and the Democrats passed the budget? And she refused to answer the question about Harry Reid in the Senate not ever voting on Obama's budget.
You never get a yes/no answer.
And she says, why don't you pick up the phone and call Harry Reid and say, pass the budget? I'm over here now. Well, I'm not in control of the Senate. I'm not going to tell Harry Reid what to do. Oh, give me a break.
See, no one wants to take responsibility. Once they give you a definite answer, they've got to stick to it. That's why they don't. Ladies
and gentlemen of the American jury, you wonder why I advocated an armed march to throw these bozos out? Are you kidding me? And it's all of them. It's all of them. It's Boehner, it's Debbie Wasserman Schultz, it's Harry Reid, it's John Connally. John Connally. Oh, I'm not going to go to that Chuck Schumer hearing because this is just grandstanding for the U.S. Supreme Court. As he's standing there with Mitch McConnell and 20 Republican senators around him. Oh, is that not a photo op? John Kyle from Arizona? I can't stand them, folks.
I have an idea. You're a history person. You know more about this. In Rome, the Senate. Wasn't it part of the Senate that every citizen's responsibility was to serve on that Senate? It wasn't a lifetime position. Was that Rome?
No, Athens required you to serve on juries. Athens required you to serve. They had big, like hundreds of people on council. No, the Senate was very much a rich Roman senator's game.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Okay, but everything. Can we put some sort of...
But I can tell you this, the Senate... In the tradition of Rome, Senate was supposed to be the wise men of the country.
Instead, we get the ones that have enough money to fund a good campaign.
I tell you, that they just want us to be sheep for shepherds who are fools, and they are fools. And they think they're shepherds. They're losers. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the America, I have to say this. Romney gave a great speech last night, and he kind of adopted this. This isn't fair. It's not fair that we have this. I mean, he took the fair issue and stuck it up the old Barack Obama's, the
presidential seal.
He goes, hold on a little longer. A better America begins tonight. All right, folks. I'm not making this up. This is from the Weekly Standard. This is Barack Obama speaking at the University of North Carolina. The fact is that since most of you were born, tuition and fees at America's colleges have more than doubled. And that forces students like you can take out a lot more loans. There are fewer grants. You rack up more debt. Can I get an amen? The students responded, amen. He continued, the average student who borrows to pay college now graduates with about $25,000 in student loan debt. That's the average, some or more. Can I get an amen for that? The student said, amen. Bulldog note, I think Barack Obama's going to join Jeremiah Wright in the pulpit when he gets defeated in 2012. Can I get an amen? You got a politician saying, can I get an amen? Now, here is a punchline from Politico and the Drudge Report. In 2007, then Illinois Senator Barack Obama missed 2 votes on the student loan interest bill that he now wants Congress to extend. Obama twice skipped the Senate vote on the College Cost Reduction and Access Act when the bill came to the Senate floor, first in July and again in September 2007. He was he never voted, never showed up, always voted present. Barack Obama is a lazy butt. And he says, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is saying, well, the young people should vote for Barack Obama, da-da-da. Really? If you are he's been president for 40 years. If you are under 25 years old, half of you do not have a job after graduating from college, usually at 21. So from 21 to 25, guess what, folks? Half of you aren't going to find a job in your field or have a job at all. Hey, jeez, oh, Pete.
Living at home.
Could I get an amen for that, Barack?
Amen.
I can't stand them all.
But you know what?
I can't stand them. Now,
look at the bright spot in this one, okay? Lowering the interest rate on the student loan's a good thing, all right? Both parties like that idea, right? We benefit. Because, man, we all dodge the student loan people.
Yeah. I get this. Nancy Pelosi is supporting with other Democrats an amendment to the First Amendment that would allow Congress to regulate political speech. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, man, the end of America is near. Yeah, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi on Thursday endorsed a movement announced by other congressional Democrats on Wednesday to ratify an amendment to the U.S. Constitution that would allow Congress to regulate political speech when it is engaged in by corporations as opposed to individuals. Television and radio networks, newspapers, publishing houses, movie studios, and think tanks, as well as political action committees, are usually organized as elements of a corporation. Man, a corporation, they're allowed to say what the heck they want to.
Yeah, Fräulein.
I'll tell you what, man, it's the old slippery slope.
Yeah.
Let's change the subject here, TC.
Wait, please let me say something about Nancy Pelosi.
Yep.
We can blame every problem in the world on that woman. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
I'm sorry.
I woke up this morning, and this is maybe too much information, but I got in my shower, and I have 3 kinds of cologne sitting on the bathtub. One is Egoist something or another. I got at Macy's, which is gone. That's what I've been using. And there was another one that was empty. I mean, by the way, this cologne's lasts me 5 years, okay? And I put on this Giorgio Armani cologne. TC, I like the way I smell. I usually don't smell myself, but I like this stuff. Do you wear cologne? And if you do you ever say, dang, I smell good?
Yes and yes.
Because I do. I smell good today.
They're a handful, like those body sprays or whatever.
Oh, my God. I just got 30 texts from women wanting to come in here and smell me. Go ahead, TC.
I can't follow that.
But I do. Giorgio Armani. It smells good.
Yeah. What's even better is when a woman says, you smell
Let me
good.
check this. Brad, you don't even smell me, do you?
No.
Thank God. Brad does not smell it.
But there is a major problem right now.
Oh.
Facebook is not.
Brad says we got a major problem right now. Isn't that nice to know? Like the whole Facebook?
The whole Facebook.
Uh-oh.
One of those days, isn't it?
When we come back, Brad fix Facebook on Real Talk 1160.
Make sure you listen up for Mike Huckabee this afternoon, 3 to 5 on Real Talk 1160. And coming up in about 10 minutes, the Huckabee Report on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog.
This is the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. The Supreme Court is hearing a big case about not only the Arizona immigration, but they're going to decide whether or not a juvenile can be put to death. TC, here's what I think. If a juvenile does a crime that is serious enough for that individual to be, how should I say, tried as an adult, then they should be able to be put to death.
Well, you got a point there. In
other words, doesn't it start with, hey, this crime and the age and everything else, we're going to try him as an adult. If you don't try him as an adult, he's not going to be put to death.
Right.
Because juveniles don't get the death penalty unless they're tried as an adult.
Now, if they do a crime that is so heinous or whatever you want, then maybe that's the best thing for them or for society.
That's a heinous crime. Heinous.
I mean, really, think about it, though. You not just like skipping school. We're talking about serious criminal offenses that kids do. Maybe that's a bad seed.
I mean, you know what? I mean, for a kid to do something that he's going to be tried, and let's face it, I don't care what anybody says, TC. The age of majority has gone down. I mean, what a 17-year-old knows about today versus like 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
That's true.
It's a different ball game, man.
I blame the internet and Nancy Pelosi.
I agree. And you know what? To honor, I don't know if I can do it from here, TC, because there's something on my screen. But
It must be one of those days where all the equipment's going haywire.
Can you do it from in there?
You jackwagon!
From the power vested in me, we jackwagon Nancy Pelosi. Why? Because she deserves to be jackwagoned. And we could jackwagon her almost every single day.
Why don't we?
I mean, we really could. Let me see. Here's some information that is just absolutely, and I got this from the Sunday Courier Journal. There's a movie at the Esquire about bullying. I can't see it. It's too painful to watch. Couldn't do it. More than 5 children die every day. This is on child abuse. More than 5 children die every day as a result of child abuse. A report of child abuse is made every 10 seconds. As many as 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused at some point in their childhood. That's messed up. Child abuse occurs at every socioeconomic level across ethnic and cultural lines, within all religions and at all levels of education. Approximately 1 in 7 youth, 10 to 17 years of age, have received a sexual solicitation or approach over the internet. And 88% of sexual abuse cases are never reported to the authorities. Wow. And that's sad. The innocence of a child is sacred, folks. And if you do anything to violate the sacred innocence of a child, as Jesus said, you might as well have a millstone tied around your neck, placed around your neck, and thrown in the ocean. And with that, we go to Prankster. By the way, if you want to call in, 513-579-1160. Prankster, what do you got?
Yes, I can hear you today on the other end.
Good, I'm glad.
So you think President Obama will not be president again, I see.
Nah, I do not think he will. I think the economy is so bad. I saw something where like 80% of the young people were all enthusiastic to vote for him. It's down to like 48. I mean, everybody's figured this cat out, in my opinion, Prankster.
Well, I'll give you my opinion.
Give us your opinion.
He will win big time. He's got the college students out here right now. He's going around to all the colleges. John Boehner has said that they could lose the House and the Senate both recently. The Tea Party will not show up this time. They will not come out and vote because the Tea Party are behind people like Ron Paul. I am behind people like Ron Paul. I think we're just going to sit out and let Obama win.
Nah,
you're
not,
make a total
Prankster.
destruction of America.
No,
and then
you're
the
not.
Bulldog will have to march on Washington if there's any Bulldog left.
Prankster, I respectfully disagree because those Ron Paul supporters like yourself love America too much to not help in the defeat of Barack Obama. I mean, come on. Where are they going to go?
That's good. He brings up a good point, though. Do you think the Tea Partiers are going to
Oh,
support?
yeah. They're going to march. They're going to march big time. I want to turn to my Fortune magazine, which has a feature, TC.
Yeah.
The greatest entrepreneurs of our time and what you can learn from them. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
This from Steve Jobs. This is advice from all these cats. Steve Jobs, say no to focus groups and market research.
I agree with that one.
There are some products that he had that failed market research and focus groups. Bill Gates, find very smart people and create small teams.
Okay, like that idea.
Fred Smith, he's the FedEx guy. Rely on first-level managers. Jeff Bezos, that's Amazon. Take regular mini retreats. And that guy likes to stay in hotels. I don't know about that advice. The Google founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, spare no expense on innovation. You listen to that, Brad, Mr. Scare the Heck Out of the World? Howard Schultz, Starbucks. Always challenge the old ways. Yeah, and it gets you a bar complaint. Mark Zuckerberg. I like this one. Mr. Facebook. Embrace paranoia. Y'all looking at me? What's wrong? Y'all watching me? John Mackey. Whole Foods. Purpose inspires people. I'm going to say that again. Purpose inspires people. How you like that?
So find something to do.
That's from John Mackey. Number 9, Herb Kelleher from Southwest Airlines. I like this guy, man. He's an innovator. Make your customers number one. Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Hey, let's try that.
Southwest has done that. And then finally, we have Narayana Murphy. This is from Infosystems. Sacrifice today, cash in tomorrow. You know what? That's not a bad one.
That's not.
This
That's like
was-
the ant and the grasshopper.
This is from Sam Walton. This is like Entrepreneur 101.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
And give the Mexican government what they want.
Brad Amster, will you find out, please, what the heck the American people want so we can give it to them? As long as we can sell it.
You know, they're giving the Mexican government what they want. That's how they got those permits passed.
Yeah, that's
Walmart.
right.
I heard some more about that. You know, it is not uncommon when people want to open a business or build a building or something like that. They say it takes so long to go through the proper channels, the regulations. So they will, and it's for that reason. People want, it's so corrupt down there. I mean, and now Walmart, I'm sure, is embarrassed that they did it, but that's not uncommon if people want to get them going.
What you gonna do, you know? Mohammed Yunus, who is from Grauman Bank. Small gifts can equal big impacts. That's why I carry around pennies to give to every member, a Bulldog Nation member that I meet.
Thanks.
Because I know that small gift of a penny will have a big impact in their daily life.
If I get 5 more of these, I can get a piece of gum.
Hey, remember, guys, you can't do anything with a penny anymore.
You're right.
There used to be penny candy. You could put a penny in some slots, I guess. You can't do a penny anymore.
You pay taxes with pennies.
Is there penny slot machines at casinos?
There are, yes.
There are?
They take 25 pennies.
Oh, my gosh. No more pennies.
Yeah. They're too expensive to make.
Hey, I got a story for the plastic man. It's hilarious. It involves Barbie.
Who needs a Barbie?
Is Barbie on? Is Plastic Man on his way here?
I believe so. Haven't heard anything different.
All right. We come back. I'm going to hit Plastic Man with a tough question about Barbie on Real Talk 1160. Cowboy, baby. Man, I've had a convertible many years, and there's nothing like on a nice sunny day with the top drop back.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Want to thank Andy Peters.
Guess who's here?
Plastic Man.
What's up, Doc?
Plastic Man.
Of course, that's our theme song for our special guest on Wednesday. At this time, the Plastic Man, Dr. Lawrence Kurtzman from Kurtzman Plastic Surgery in Kenwood. Have you done any work on John Bick from Robke Automotive? Because John Bick from Robke Automotive is looking extra handsome these days. Are you sure that you haven't done any work on John Bick from Robke Automotive?
Well, you know, I never talk. I'm never allowed to talk about patients.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
That's right.
Except they do a commercial here from somebody. Hi, I've been...
Well, they're allowed to talk about
I know
themselves.
they are. I know they are.
But you don't tuck and tell, do you?
I do not talk and tell.
All right, this is not the hard questions that I got for you, but Nancy Pelosi, work. Can you tell? Work.
Oh, yeah,
asking
she's
you.
had a lot of work.
I wanted to confirm that.
But she's in the Hall of Fame on your jackwagon status. You don't even have
She's
to
Hall of
say,
Fame.
You don't have to say it every day.
Let me see. Mayor Mallory, Mr. Streetcar, Obama, Eric Holder, Nancy Pelosi. Let's throw Newt Gingrich in there now. They're Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
We want to thank Andy Peters from Green Pros, who I ran into. He's a Latin schooler, baby. Ran into him at Frisch's right down the... By the way, Patty, you need to get Frisch's to sponsor my show because I get a biscuit, an egg biscuit, and a root beer there every morning until I start my diet. But I'll
Biscuit
still
and a
say
root
that I
beer.
do. I still say I got a root beer if you get them.
Time out.
Just wanna
Hold
let you
the
know.
phone. You have been saying since January, I'm going to start eating healthy. You had a biscuit and root beer for breakfast?
A healthy biscuit.
It was a healthy biscuit. It's
all
a
right.
whole grain biscuit. They do whole grain biscuits at Frisch's.
Oh, well, then that's quite different.
Now, here is the article that I got for you, okay? I found an article about a real-life Barbie. Allegedly, 21-year-old model Valerie Lukyanova is under fire for her provocative look. you know what? Just like anything, you watch, the federal government will prosecute her for having a provocative work. They're going after Clemens. They're going after Mr. Text Messaging guy from BP. They're going to go after her. Barry Bonds. We're going to file under Chapter 28, Section da-da-da-da-da for being provocative looking. We want her to go to jail. Anyway, for her near perfect figure, what she did, Plastic Man, is she apparently went to some people and said, I guess people in your business, and said she wanted the same proportions as Barbie. And apparently those proportions are pretty, crazy. So my comment, you can't really tell from the copied picture, but there's rumors, is she real or is she Memorex?
Well, I've read about several of these people.
I have to admit, her photograph, not to interrupt you right off the bat, but her photograph didn't look like she was real. Go ahead.
Well, it looks like a real Barbie doll. But yeah, there are people out there that get a little carried away. And my goal with all my plastic surgery is to make people look natural. I think anytime someone looks inhuman, funny, strange, that's not a good thing. There are people that come in, especially in the big cities, the coast, California, New York, and they want these ridiculous-looking things, and I just won't do it because I don't want those people out there saying, hey, look what Dr. Kurtzman did for me. To me, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. And I just want to let you know that John Bick has responded and said that he's as good-looking as Gerard Butler, and he doesn't need you. That's what John Bick says.
He doesn't need me, but he may want.
Now, I got to ask you a question, okay? Can you make me look like Gerard Butler? Because I will spend the money that it takes. I think this, I'm already a pretty good trial lawyer. If I had all the same skills that I have and I look like Gerard Butler, I bet you I wouldn't lose a trial.
Well, the funny thing is I had Gerard Butler call me, and he said he wants to look like Bulldog. So I just don't understand.
Patty, Gerard Butler is from 300, okay? He was from, what else did Gerard Butler play in recently? He's just a hunky guy. Kind of in the image of me. Only shorter, more hair. But anyway, so do you think Barbie's real, or do you think, are you aware of anybody has anybody ever come to you and said, I want to look like Barbie?
No, but I've heard of this, and I've seen some stuff on the internet where some people actually do. They've had 20 and 30 operations, and it just gets overboard and ridiculous. I mean, I want people to look good. I want people to look natural. I want people to look at them and say, gee, you look great, not, gee, who did your surgery, or gee, you had a facelift. To me, if someone says, gee, you had a facelift, that is a failure. You want it to look so natural that people say, gee, you look great, you look rested, that type of thing.
Let's have a round table right here for the Facelift Hall of Fame of Shame. Can we begin with Kenny Rogers? Oh, my gosh. Kenny Rogers, Dr. Kurtzman, he's just like stretched too tight. Bruce Jenner? And we've all got to see Bruce. I'm like, is that Bruce Jenner?
Right. When you have to say, who is that? Or you have to read the caption to say, oh, that's Bruce Jenner. Or, oh, that's Kenny Rogers. It's not a good thing.
See, whoever did that is exactly the kind of thing you're saying that you would not do.
Well, I would not do. I just think that's, horrible. I think Bruce Jenner was really a disgrace. He was such a good-looking stud young man, and what he turned into, just a feminine-looking male. I just don't get it.
Yeah, he was on the Wheaties box.
Why would you want to do that to yourself? Like me, I'm embracing my wrinkles at age 48. I got to ask you this. Fortune magazine, we just went through here before you get here about all these Hall of Fame entrepreneurs. And you made an honorable mention here, Dr. Kurtzman, right next to Oprah Winfrey and Ted Turner, Michael Dell, Liz Claiborne, Dr. Kurtzman from Kurtzman Plastic Surgery. But they left out what your advice would be to an entrepreneur. What would your advice as a doctor who's in business for themselves, what would be your advice to would-be entrepreneurs out there?
Just to do the right thing, to just push the edge, try things, try new things, use your mind. Don't just follow the old rhetoric that everybody follows, but, try to be different. I tried to, with my new office, I tried to make it not look like a doctor's office because I tried
not to be like most lawyers.
Right. You try to be a little bit different, to stand out, and not in a bad way, but in a great way. Because I think we embrace differences, and differences can advance things. I mean, look at all the inventions and the advances that have been made over however many years. Just because people people think out of the box.
You know, it amazes me. And one of my favorite commercials of all time was that old Apple commercial where they speak. They have Richard Dreyfuss doing the narration about how all the oddballs in history were the ones that changed the world, like Einstein and, Gandhi, all these people that were just different. They end up changing the world. I mean, you can't be great if you follow the same old path.
No, you have to lead a new path. I mean, the Stephen Jobs, the Bill Gates, the Oprah Winfreys, all these people.
I love that Calipari uses them as an example of guys that dropped out of college. Well, these guys dropped out of college to change the world, but his players can't drop out of college to go play in the NBA. And I think to myself, that's a great analogy. I mean, Bill Gates didn't get a college degree. And people say, well, you should have stay in college and get a college degree. Well, maybe not.
Well, in general, that's very true. I mean, it's been shown time and time again that college graduates do better in the economy. There's always people like that. Always
especially
exceptions.
Sociology majors and art majors. There's lots of jobs lined up there for them.
There you go. And Bill Gates can buy a couple colleges now.
The only difference is a guy like Bill Gates, you maybe have, 10 guys that we know of as successful who dropped out of college. The rest of the people who dropped out of college aren't living like that.
They aren't?
I don't think so.
One of my favorite stories is a guy over in Northern Kentucky named R.C. Durr who dropped out of high school, and he got a dump truck. He started his company with one dump truck, and he became a highway contractor for the state, real estate developer, so forth and so on. I'm sure he had more money in this because I'm sure he did some planning, but his estate when he died, he had $80 million. It was in the newspaper that he had $80 million, and I thought to myself, that's cool. I mean, he dropped out of high school and went to work with a dump truck.
Started off one man in a dump.
One man in a dump.
1-800 got junked, did the same thing.
1-800-JUNK?
1-800 got junked. The guy did the same thing. He dropped out of high school. Bought a truck.
Yeah, but these are not, these are very bright people. They're street smart. They're well educated in a different way. They don't have the classes, but they are bright people.
Okay.
They can see things.
Let's start a fortune right here. I thought of this last night. I want to share it with the American jury. Let's think of one thing, whatever it is. It could be an object, whatever, that we can buy at one price and sell it for a higher price and do it over and over again. What can that be?
Gold?
Yeah, but gold sometimes goes down. I'm serious. What can we buy?
Green water?
That's at a certain price and sell it for a higher price. Because it's really that simple. To get rich, you got to find something
Houses.
that you can produce or buy at X and sell for Y.
Houses.
That's a little algebra for you.
There you go.
X, Y.
I like that. See, you went to school. You went to Covlat.
Yes, I did. Got D's in algebra, but enough to talk about it on the radio.
Home prices hit a new low in February. We should buy homes and sell them.
All right, let's do it.
If you can buy and hold them, I think that's a great investment right now.
Coming back, more
rent,
Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160.
Hey, I got good news. The TuneIn Radio app is back up and operating properly, so you can listen to the rest of Bulldog, and then you can listen to Laura Ingram coming up 9 to noon today on Real Talk 1160. And now back to the Bulldog and the Doc.
Eric Dieter's the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. A Bulldog Nation member said we could sell weed at one price, and we'd only do 4 months if we got caught.
When you go to California where it's legalized, they sell it on the beach.
I got the information about that story that this involves surgery, so I'd like to ask you about this. A New York woman has filed a lawsuit against her former boss, claiming she was transferred and fired after donating a kidney to her boss. The plaintiff says that after a painful recovery and return to work, her boss accused her of not doing her job and made her feel guilty about the pain she was in. When she was complained, she was transferred, then fired. How does a boss fire a worker who donates a kidney to them? From a legal front, I say sue the hell out of them.
I'm sure you would take that case. There's got to be another side to that story. That sounds pretty one-sided, but a little strange. Who gives a kidney to their boss?
Maybe she donated the kidney because she thought she could be a lousy employee and stay working because that was her ticket to a free ride that did not work.
That's a pretty good ticket, I'll tell you.
Do you scuba dive?
I do.
17,000 scuba hoses have been recalled by the Consumer Product Safety Commission. High-pressure scuba diving hoses due to an increased risk of the hose rupturing, imported by Excess Scuba Inc. Do you have a scuba hose from Excess Scuba Inc.?
I rent, but talk about getting hosed.
There's nothing worse when your hose ruptures.
And I would think not. When you're 100 feet down, that's probably not a good thing.
Oh, my gosh. Man, you have a hose rupture, it's problem city.
Women get upset when they have a tear in their hose.
They do, don't they?
They do.
Let's talk politics. Last night, it was a big win for Romney. He won Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And, Newt Gingrich's going to reassess. Ron Paul, he's in for the haul. Santorum, he's silent because he knew he was going to get beat in Pennsylvania, spared the humiliation. You break it down, and it's pretty clear that it's going to come down to these states. And I saw an analysis last night where it comes down to Florida, Ohio, and a couple others, really.
Yeah, Virginia. There's always a couple.
There's 10 states, but it's amazing. And I thought there was some good advice that I heard given that you kind of got to run almost like governor for the state. You got to really get down there involved. I don't know how these states can absorb the money that these guys are going to have to throw at them. It's incredible.
There's a lot of money to go around. It really is incredible how much they spend on this election for a job that pays $400,000.
Barack Obama was on Jimmy Fallon last night. And I just, I think this has just gone way too far, especially once you're elected president of the United States. It all began with Bill Clinton. And by the way, I think outside the box, and I'm not saying that, there's times when the president ought to, take a suit and tie off, maybe. But I'm old school when it becomes president of the United States. I mean, I might be a dressed down kind of person, but if you're the president of the United States, I think you need to be more like Ronald Reagan and George Bush and wear your suit and tie, and you don't go on shows like Jimmy Fallon late night, and you be more presidential. What are your comments about that?
Well, I agree 100%. I really like to see the president in a tie. I know that Bush had the rule, if you're in the Oval Office, you had a tie on or you didn't come in. But I
like
agree.
that rule.
But, this stuff with Jimmy Fallon and Clinton playing the saxophone, the sad part is that Obama's been president for 3 years. For the last year, he hasn't been president. He's been just running for the office for the next election. It's like, do your job. Stop running for the office. That's all he does. He's going to all these colleges, get the young kids involved, get a lot of photogenic people, a lot of pictures out there, getting his name out there, Jimmy Fallon. I mean, don't you get, aren't there some rules about equal time for the opponents on television and radio?
Yeah, there is, but I think, it kind of all evens out. You have to give him the opportunity. I mean, if Mitt Romney called up Jimmy Fallon, I'm sure Jimmy Fallon would have him on. Brad Amster looked on his little computer there, which is really his phone, and found out that there are a lot of CEOs that are actual CEOs that dropped out of even high school. And you know what I say? I say this all the time. And a great education's important, but hard work is more important. And when you look at what people are paying, for a college education, to go to college for 4 years and get out of college and they're not finding a job, so forth and so on, I can tell you right now, hard work is more important than a college education. People always contact me about, I want to be a paralegal. Well, to be a paralegal, you got to be able to do this. Type, be smart, common sense, organize, and work hard. You don't need to go to a paralegal. You don't need to go to a paralegal school. You don't. And I can tell you right now, I've got somebody working in my office now, Sarah. She was a teacher. And I'm telling you right now, she's turning into a great legal secretary / paralegal. I mean,
because she's bright and she works hard.
Yeah, I mean, she has no paralegal experience, and she gets it. She knows how to format a pleading, which is something you file in court. And I say this all the time. I mean, you just need to be bright and smart and common sense and work hard. You can do anything. That's the American way.
That is the American way.
That's my way, too, now. Sometimes it ain't easy, man. You beat your head against concrete block walls. I'm still waiting for a Supreme Court order on our motion, so I'm still out of action day by day until I get that order. It could be as much as today. Today was supposed to be my official automatic back. Doctor, can you imagine? I can put this in your kind of. Can you imagine if your medical license was suspended for 61 days and then you were supposed to come back and some jackwagon from the medical board decided, I'm going to object to his automatic reinstatement. I want to suspend him a little bit longer without a hearing.
I say give him Oracle status. Be nice to this guy.
I mean, really, that's a bit ridiculous. You know, it's like going to jail. You pay your debt, you come out, and hopefully you're rehabilitated. You correct whatever problems there were, and you move on. You paid, and it's time to.
People don't realize it if you are even a realtor, and you don't have to go to 4 years, 7 years of college. If you're a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, but particularly a doctor and a lawyer, man, what you go through to become that person and have that license, and then you get it threatened all the time. I'm going to file bar. It's amazing. Isn't it just, it'd be nice to just like be a CEO of a company. Then you don't have to worry about it.
It would, but there are some people out there that give us all a bad name, and of course it's very few people, and those people do need to be sanctioned. But for the most part, you know, people are doing the right thing, whether it's doctors or lawyers.
Is there anything you want to promote from Kurtzman Plastic Surgery? I almost said Kurtzman Chiropractic. I'm sure you could do that too. Kurtzman Plastic Surgery.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Botox for migraine headaches this week. A lot of people have migraines. They take a lot of medicines for it. They take a lot of shots. I have so many patients that come in. They go from 10 shots of Imitrex a month to 0 shots, totally get rid of their migraines. And it's an incredible drug. It doesn't work on everybody, but the ones that it does, it really is life-changing. I have some people that come in for the lines originally, but it takes away the headaches. Then they keep coming back when the headaches come back. And people get relief for months and months and months for migraines. It's just an incredible thing to really help change people's lives.
Well, I want you to know that I've had headaches before, but I've been blessed. I haven't had migraine headaches. But I just think that that's a pretty good sales thing. Botox. It's not just for wrinkles anymore. It's for headaches.
It's for headaches. It's for excessive sweating. I mean, it really does so many things.
Marketing genius.
It's a wonderful, wonderful drug.
All right, TC, any final words before we turn it over to the radio addiction of Laura Ingram?
Well, you know, in the few seconds we have left, I was going to, in the interest of transparency, read all of the ingredients inside a bottle of green water. But it's 2,700 pages long, so.
But it's all natural.
Yes.
It's all natural. There's no chemicals. There's no volatile organic chemicals. There's no PCP.
And it won't kill you.
And it won't kill you. It won't give you methane gas.
Well,
this is the Bulldog
advertising thing.
Every dog has their day. I hope today and tomorrow is yours. We'll be back with more Radio Superbity tomorrow. Listen to Joan Jett and be in a good mood today on Real Talk 1160. See.